I am truly honored to be selected to the University of Portland Hall of Fame, and I thank the selection committee for doing so. It's exciting to be here. It makes me even more special for Pete to go in with Pete and with Tiffany and with Gayle. To mention something about Tiffany. We used to practice wintertime. The University of Portland women's soccer team would be in the Child Center upstairs. Some of these guys sitting around would remember that. And the women's soccer team would precede us, and we would have to stand and wait for them to get done. And when I was watching Tiffany, and Shannon and the girls, and they're practicing. And I never told the guys this, but it ran through my mind. It'd be nice if we could practice like a girl. Gayle's impact. I just want to mention Gayle. Nice to go in with you and Pete. Gayle's impact, I mean, that set it up there, but I knew her as a student athlete, and she would rescue me from Gaston, Oregon, a naive freshman, and she would rescue you. You'd go and ask questions. She didn't always give you the answer you wanted to give. She would help you out. If you had trouble filling out something or understanding with that, she did that. It was awesome. She impacted so many people in so many ways. I don't think that she would probably ever know how many people that, because she just did it so gently and easily and helped out in so many ways. It's nice to also go in with Gayle. I have a few thank yous. I have a few thank yous that I want to give. First and foremost, I'd like you to, well, before the thank yous, make sure you know who Sheila Ord, Pollreisz class of 71 is. She's sitting right here. First thank you goes to Joe Etzel. There you are, Joe. 1987, I had been here for 3 years, teaching at Wesleyan High School and then coming out in the afternoons and being Joe's assistant, doing whatever is necessary and maybe helping with the hitting a little bit. In 1987, Joe entrusted me with a head coaching job. And he had been doing that for 21 years. It was not something, because he still had years left. I knew that. And I've never said this to Joe. And I think that he knew that. But he entrusted me in doing that. And for 11 years, it's probably some of the most best years of my life and enjoyable times. And thanks, Joe. And thanks for helping me in those 11 years. I'd like to also acknowledge someone who's recently deceased, Father Chet Brzezinski. We all knew him. As I mentioned the word, and I see heads going up and down. Nice. Father Chet Brzezinski impacted this university in so many ways. Student athletes, obviously, but students of his accounting classes, okay? Student athletes, but also coaches. He was a person you just went and wanted to talk to. And it could be a win, and he'd have a grin on his face, and he would say something funny about it, or something like this, or why didn't you bring him out in the 7th, or something like that, you know. But he also impacted people. And I wanted to mention Father Chet Brzezinski because I could just list all the things: priest, counselor, consultant, friend, fan, and go on down the line. And we will all miss Father Prue. The next thank you I have is I was here for 11 years as a head coach, and I had 11 different classes and a number of different ball players. But I want to thank the baseball players that I was able to coach. But why am I thanking them? Okay? Why am I thanking them? Because they gave me the permission to coach them. And I believe that is so important. You can coach somebody for whom you know hasn't given you permission. They're just going to be there. I'm thanking these guys, and there's a bunch sitting around all the way over there. They gave me permission to coach them, and it brought our closeness together. You know, and I would like to tell you in those 11 years that we won them all, but we didn't. We had good years, and we had some medium years, and we had some bad years. And some of that is out of your hands, the pro draft and different things that happens. Okay? But when we had the talent to have the good years, I think we had the good years. And then when we were young and the draft had taken, you know, players from the program when they were juniors, well, and we were in tough league as we went into the West Coast Conference. I know Spare knows the difference. You know, and those years weren't so good. Okay? But along the way, that association, and I see every one of these guys, and I look at them, and the fun that we had, you know, but they gave me the permission to coach them, and I thank you for that. You know, Buzz told me this was about to be a 5-minute affair, and so I don't know where this will go. Okay, but I do know this. I never coached or played basketball or baseball for awards. They don't hack it. To illustrate that point, I want to tell you about something that happened in 1968. I'm a junior in college, a basketball, baseball player. My roommates in '68 was Paul Gordon, MVP, MVP of the basketball team, and Paul Gordon, a Hall of Fame member, and a tremendous person and basketball player. Tremendous. And then the other roommate I had was Bobby Skarecki. Okay? And so we got Skarecki and Glow, you know, and I'm kind of in the middle, you know. But and Skarecki was a hard-nosed point guard basketball player, and I think he played a couple of years as a catcher in baseball. Okay? And it was, you know, the yin and the yang. But we're walking across the campus at the end of the school year, and in those years, the awards ceremony was a Letterman's banquet. You all remember the Letterman's banquets as we're sitting here. We're walking across the campus to the Letterman's banquet. Well, if you take all the athletes, even though there aren't near as many as we have today, and give them an award one at a time, you know, that's going to be a long affair. And we're walking there and walking along. Didn't play for awards. Glow says to me, "Hey, T, you might win the Schmitter tonight." My response, "What's the Schmitter?" Well, the Schmitter was the name of the Athlete of the Year award, and I was very little cognizant of what it was. And I was fortunate being two-sport athlete that I did win it that night, and then again the next year. So what do you play for? What do you do it for? You know, and it was mentioned, Pete mentioned it, very nice job, okay? I don't find you right now, but a super job. There you are. If you're not playing for the love of the game, for the love of competition, if you're not immersed in those things, if you're thinking about the pro draft, if you're thinking about the award that you might get, if you're thinking about the date that you might get, or any of those things, you're going to be less than who you can be. And as I was walking across, and when I told him, you know, well, what's the Schmitter? And I wanted to mention this because if you think about things that you espouse in your careers and do things, it is that, I think, that I would choose to espouse. Play for the love of the game. Play for the love of competition, and then let the chips fall where they may, and everything will be all right. And I mentioned that, okay? You know, like Pete mentioned in his way, and I mentioned it in the same way, but we have the same perceptions, okay? The University of Portland was a good fit for me. I came from Gaston, Oregon. The population of the high school, it had 130 kids. The population of the town was 310. How did I get to the University of Portland? I loved to play. I absolutely loved to play. Football, basketball, baseball. I ran track in the sprints. At the end of the baseball season, I couldn't do it during most of the year, but at the end of the baseball season, they would have me run track. How about that, Pete? Okay? All right? And I would just love to play. Okay? And I think I fit here. For the years that I was here, I think I fit here. I loved the place, but I loved the striving for excellence, the demands for excellence. I loved that part. Excellence in your academics, excellence on the field, excellence in the basketball court, excellence out on the track, all of those places. Strive for excellence. I loved that part. Okay? Then, the loving of the competition itself. Not much better. Not much better. And I think the University of Portland, and we had this fit. Then the other thing that I think we fit with, and it's been such a very important part of my coaching career and playing career, it's good to love the sport. But you better care for the people that you're working with. You better care for the people that you're working for. This place did those two things. I think the University of Portland, in its love for excellence and the fact that it was very, very important that we and y'all cared for the people that were here, and it's a personal thing. I used to give, for years we had a freshman orientation, and they had a spirit talk, and I was chosen for about 3 or 4 or 5 years in a row. I think maybe Tiffany was in one of those classes. And I would give the spirit talk, and it would be coming always from, it comes from the heart here. It comes from the heart here, and I think that would be the center of things. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the University of Portland for allowing me to be directly associated with for 18 years. And it was fun. It was really fun. I was able to go on to the Seattle Mariners and have another fun 13 years there. Right now I'm dealing with 14-year-olds and hitting lessons and things like that. I'd like to finish with a little active participation. That table better be good back there. Joe, I expect you to ramrod your table. Where's Jimmy Sollers? Jimmy Sollers, get in charge of that table. Here's what we're going to do. Playing for Al Negrati, and Joe was the assistant. When we would run the lines, when we would run up and down and around the stairs, okay, we would run fast break drills until our tongue was dragging. And Al, he'd whistle. Yep, he'd whistle, and then he would say 4 words over and over and over. Now listen, it's hard to remember. Come on, you pilots! Got that, Hanny? Come on, you pilots! Okay, now my active participation, we're going to do this twice. The first time is a practice, and then I'm going to coach you, and then we're going to do it again. The second time is a gamer. Okay? I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then I want you to give me, come on, you pilots. All right? All right. 1, 2, 3. Come on, you pilots. Oh, you're better than I thought you would be. You are much better than I thought it was going to be. We might get a little better, but that was good. At least repeat it. This is the gamer. 1, 2, 3. Come on, you pilots! Bingo! As I said in the beginning, I am very honored to have been selected to be in the Hall of Fame here. Thank you.